But we finally have our first storm, Tropical Storm Andrew. The center of the storm is located at 15.9 north, 52.8 west, if you're plotting it. Winds are at 50 miles per hour, so if you were watching last night, you noticed they were the same. It's been maintaining its strength, has not been increasing in strength as of yet, but holding its own, working its way west-northwestward at 20 miles per hour, and the pressure is 1,000 millibars. And we're going to look at this, put it into motion for you. And what you're looking at here are the Lesser Antilles. Now, all of this cloud cover here is also a tropical wave. It looked a lot more impressive earlier, but it really seems to have fizzled and really not expected to develop. So we'll sort of forget about that. Here's our storm, Tropical Storm Andrew, spinning its way along, still a ways off, working its way west-northwestward, which take it, the forecast path is north of the Lesser Antilles. But still, we'll want to keep a close eye on it for the islands up here, which may be affected at least with some rain and some windy conditions. Just to get your perspective, of course, here's the east coast of the United States, Cuba and Hispaniola, Lesser Antilles here. Here's that tropical wave, as I mentioned. Looks like it's not really developing. And here's our storm working its way northwestward, west-northwestward. And at this point, it has not been strengthening as we had first maybe expected it to. We think part of the reason may be this upper-level low here that's shearing it off somewhat, at least sort of holding it from developing. You also notice this cluster of clouds here. That's an upper-level low. A lot of cloud cover, but at this point it doesn't look like it'll be a threat, something we'll just keep an eye on. Of course, the next wave, tropical wave, coming off the coast of Africa here. So a couple things to watch, but definitely most of our attention is focused on Tropical Storm Andrew. Take you out to the Pacific real quickly, though, and let you know that we do have a new tropical storm here as well. Kay, they've had a much more active season. This one has winds of 40 miles per hour at this time, and it's working west-southwestward at 15 miles per hour, and that will be moving away from the Mexican coastline that you see here. Let's go back to the U.S. and give you the forecast. Take a look.
Tropical storm in the Atlantic. Get the picture. Here's South America. Here are the West Indies. And just off the picture out here is the state of Florida. This is Tropical Storm Andrew now. Coordinates 19.2 degrees north, 59.5 degrees west. It puts it 150 miles to the northeast of the Leeward Islands, Antigua for one. Top winds, maximum sustained winds now 50 miles per hour, and it continues its west-northwest track at about 21 miles per hour. Lowest pressure near the center, 1,005 millibars, or 29.68 inches. Now, this storm is forecast to continue to move off to the west-northwest as we head on into the weekend, and it's also forecast to slow down somewhat. Here's what it looks like, and the bright colors indicate where the central dense overcast of this storm is, where the heaviest precipitation is going on and presumably the strongest winds right over here. Now, there is a trough of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere that does move a little further southward, and as this storm encounters it, well, that is also forcing some of the clouds and thunder showers off to the north. So that is in part what this growth, this tremendous growth over the last 12 hours is all about. The maximum sustained winds, however, have remained just about the same. Another idea of where this storm is, referencing the United States, well, here's Miami, and you're about 1,350 miles off to the west-northwest of Tropical Storm Andrew. Notice it is drifting off toward the west-northwest, and at least for the folks in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, we think you're going to be okay from this storm. This should ride off to the north. But if you have interest in the Bahamas, the Turks, the Caicos, and anywhere on the east coast of the Gulf of Mexico coast, be on the lookout, because this storm is going to be heading your way as we head toward late in the weekend. The Caribbean showing all clear at the present time. Gulf of Mexico, just a stalled out frontal boundary causing some more showers and thunder showers from Florida on across into Texas. In the tropical Pacific, not much doing except Tropical Storm Kay that's moving away from land. Maximum sustained winds now 50 miles per hour. That's your tropical weather update. Time to check on the weekend forecast.